I'd seen images on TV, but to see it, you know, in first person, I was petrified.
It was absolutely slammed, so the patients everywhere, all waiting for ventilators.
The oxygen alarm was just ming, ming, ming all the time.
I remember the family, I remember the conversations, I remember how I felt.
Yeah.
I remember going home from shift at 10 o'clock, you know,
making me want to cry, because it's just bringing it back.
There are doctors running around, there are patients overflowing.
We were seeing all sorts, young people, older people, people who had never been ill a day in their life, past medical history, nil.
Yes.
And they were coming in with COVID.
There's no routine, it's just trying to help people breathe, get them to ITU.
When you look at the notes, actually it was only half an hour, but you feel like you're waiting there with someone with saturations of 60% for like hours and hours.
So the most difficult one was if the mum or the partner tested positive, because if the mum tested positive, she wasn't allowed to have anyone with her in labour. But I've sent women in to hospital who I've subsequently discovered that they've lost their baby and their partner wasn't with them.
And managed to get the baby up to the mum, just so the mum could hold her for the last time. Even though she maybe didn't know what was happening, the husband was there and he was able to take a couple of pictures.
You just got to stand there and try to reassure, but what do you say to somebody that is in a completely helpless, petrified that they're literally going to die?
The thing that really hit me hard was the fact that we couldn't, people weren't dying well.
That moment where I had to tell a family member, actually, you can't come in to see your loved one. I had never been in that position.
My grandma caught COVID, and I'd have on that the last conversation I had with my grandma, and this still hurts now, was FaceTime.
The government has said there was never a national shortage of PPE because of the action that we took.
What's your reaction to that?
I'm shocked that someone has said that.
Vomit bowls with our initials written on with our FFP3s in for us to wear when we went back into a hot zone. We should have been binning those.
And I've seen people wearing bin bags, I've seen people wearing hijabs and niqabs to cover their faces.
It used to frustrate me because he used to come onto TV and say there wasn't a national shortage. We were close, but there wasn't a national shortage. And that, as a healthcare worker, when you've experienced that, it felt like he was calling us liars.
According to the British Medical Association, nearly half of UK doctors suffering from burnout, depression or anxiety thanks to the pandemic.
Does that surprise you? Not at all, not at all.
I've seen colleagues in tears, I've been in tears myself. I had panic attacks in the morning in the dining room.
Just switched off. I switched off. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was just like thinking about the family. I was thinking about the dad, thinking about the baby.
Sudden sense of, oh God, what have I done to my family? You know, I went into this job and I thought it was about serving other people, and now I've brought this virus home into my house.
It took away from me. I feel like I'm a good nurse. Could I have done something to make sure that they got out of here alive?
You add to it the mix of them not being able to speak English. You're trying to explain to someone who doesn't understand that their dad is going to die, and you can't really explain that in the tone that you want, with the softness and the kindness.
I just have images every night going home and feeling that fear. We had patients being transported out to other hospitals in body bags. So that made it feel like you were seeing, that made it feel like you were seeing like dead people all the time. Yeah, it was hard. Sorry.
No, cover you.
You do kind of see the strength in humanity. You see a lot of grit.
You saw people who are consultant cardiovascular surgeons becoming a healthcare assistant, which I haven't done since I was in med school, doing what the nurses tell them. Okay, I'll help turn the patient. You saw everyone saying, okay, sure, I'll do it. If you can teach me what to do, I'm a quick learner, I'll do it.
And found the nurse in charge, who was this elderly Indian lady who and I said to her, look, I'm the consultant in charge. Is there any way you can take 2 or 3 more patients? And she said, and her words still stick, which is, as long as I'm standing, you can bring as many people as you can.
Has the pandemic made you regret doing the work you do? Sometimes.
Used to have like lots of like, oh, you have a bad day, but then you have like this really good day where a kid tells you you're great or something like that. And we don't have many of those anymore.
At one point, I did regret being a nurse.
We had a nurse last week that just handed a resignation, and then she's not going into a new job. She just, I need to get out. I need to protect myself and my mental health. I need to be well for my family. I need to stop working.
I enjoy seeing people get back to good health, getting back to see their families and living the life that they deserve.
Yeah.
That's what I'm in it for.
Yeah.
And it's made me realise that, because if I left, what would I do?
If you're that one person, just to make that a very heartbreaking situation, if you're just there to make it that little bit better or that little bit more bearable, then your job is done. So yeah, I don't regret it. I have no regrets. I wouldn't do it again though. I don't want another pandemic.